My next guest is certainly one of the most acclaimed actresses in the stage and screen, and has been nominated for all kinds of awards, 6 Academy Awards, Best Actress of the Year. She's in New York, again, to co-host the Tony Awards show, which will be seen Sunday night on ABC, as I mentioned before. I can't imagine anything duller for an actor than to hear a list of his movies, but it's fascinating. You realize how many of them you saw or didn't see. I won't put her through this. I'll just see how many I can do on one breath. The Hucksters, If Winter Comes, Edward, My Son, Please Believe Me, King Solomon's Mines, Quo Vadis, Thunder in the East, The Prisoner of Zenda, Dream Wife, Julius Caesar, From Here to Eternity, Young Bess, The End of the Affair, The King and I, The Proud and Profane, Tea and Sympathy, Heaven Knows, Mr. Allison, An Affair to Remember, Separate Tables, Bonjour, Tristesse, Count Your Blessings, Beloved, Infidel, The Sundowners, The Grass is Greener, The Innocents, The Naked Heads, The Chalk Garden, The Night of the Iguana, Marriage on the Rocks, Eye of the Devil, Casino Royale, Prudence, The Pilgrims. And the arrangement, thank you. Miss Deborah Kerr. I'm sorry, I'm dizzy now. You'll have to talk for...
I've never been so impressed.
I don't know how... I got to all but the arrangement, and Mr. Fonda helped me out on the last one there. That was close. Do you want to check my hand?
Cool as a cucumber. How do you do it?
It's funny, because you checked it earlier before the show and found that it was as frigid as an iceberg.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Now I'm all right.
Well, maybe it's warming up a bit.
I don't know what it is. I like this. I'm going to do this with all the lady guests. Where do you live? If it's not too personal.
Oh,
in Switzerland.
Same old place, yes.
Still live in Switzerland?
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Do you use the same bank as Helga Hughes?
I had a feeling that was coming. That's a very, very sensitive subject, please. With
Oh, is it?
Oh,
to,
yes,
to you,
yes.
to
Not
you Swiss?
to me personally, to us.
To the country?
Yes, to the country, yes.
That's right. There's a lot involved in that.
Oh, dear,
Was
yeah.
that as big a thing over there in the papers and all?
Oh,
were you there
yes.
at the time?
Yes, indeed.
The whole
yeah.
Howard
the whole,
Hughes thing?
The whole story.
Yeah.
No, it was fascinating. It was terribly sad when it all ended, wasn't it? We suddenly had nothing to read in the papers except horrors, and
right.
it was very sad.
It was like having a kind of serial going on in which nobody got hurt, except a few people took a financial bath, as we say in the trade.
Yes.
What will you be doing Sunday night? You're one of the, as I understand it, you'll be a co-host.
Yes.
Yes. I'm trying not to be sexist about this. Co-host, they say, which is a male chauvinist phrase, isn't it?
Because it's co-host. I think that it's possible to call, in this case, Ms. Kerr a co-host.
Yes.
With Mr. Fonda and Mr. Ustinov. What would you? Well, you could have also say that she is the hostess and they the co-hosts.
That's true.
Well, maybe have a bit of trouble with the billing bit there, Henry. I don't know.
That's right. Then who goes first, Mr. Cohen, the women or the man?
It's alphabetical, Mr. Cavett.
Of course.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Ah, well.
Do you prefer being Mrs. Peter Viertel or to being Deborah Kerr? Are there two of you? Are you different when you're the one and when you're the other?
Well, I suppose I would prefer being, of course I prefer being Mrs. Peter Viertel, but I am Deborah Kerr, and there are, it's two and one together sort of thing, if you know what I mean.
But you don't feel slightly different when you're called the one. Do you respond a little differently if someone calls you Mrs. Viertel?
No,
do you assume they?
No, I don't think so. Do you mean, do I get mad and say, I beg your pardon,
Oh, no, I don't mean that they resent. That brings me to an interesting question, though, an even more interesting one. I'd like to ask the two of you this, and Sandy, too. Is it an odd feeling when you're as well known as you are to a majority of the globe, and you run into someone who hasn't the slightest idea who you are? Does this still happen? Can you ever run into somebody who doesn't have any idea?
All the
really?
time.
And it doesn't bug you. I mean, it isn't...
It's rather a relief,
oh,
really,
yes,
isn't
it's
it?
wonderful. It's delightful. I usually think... And then it comes to them sometimes. They're about to say,
yes,
I met you at the bank, or did you go to my school, or something,
Yes.
And sometimes they never do get to it, but sometimes they realize and then get terribly embarrassed and keep on walking.
What's awful is when they go, aren't you, didn't we go to... Oh, you're only Henry Fonda. That would be hard. But I guess it must happen to everybody, no matter how famous you can get. I know Bob Hope, of all people, you'd think he's probably the best-known person in the globe, with Chaplin and a couple people like that. And he once gave his name to someone, and they said, Holt. Can you imagine? I mean, so I guess there are people.
Really?
Yeah.
Holt?
Holt, Bob Holt. Yeah. He was stopped by that, I have a feeling. Didn't you go back to the stage in London not too long ago, return to London stage?
Yeah, just for one night.
Yeah.
And
That's a hard way, really. I think it'd be easier to
Yes.
do it for a few weeks than to just one
well,
night everything's...
yes, it was. It was tough, but it was wonderful to do because it's been so long since I've done anything in the theatre, and I do love it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I got a bit cold feet about the whole thing, you know, sort of maybe I will never do it again. And then this sort of opportunity came up, or it was to be an evening honouring Terence Rattigan and for a charity and everything, and would we do separate tables? And so, you know, I thought, well, at least I think I know the lines. And we did it just for one evening, and it was frightening but marvelous experience. And I thought, no, I think I can do it. And I had the great luck to, right after that, to find a play. And I'm going to do it in London.
Great.
And I'm very excited, and I do hope I'll be able to bring it here. I hope so, anyway.
People must wonder how...
Can I make the offer?
Yeah, ever the producer. By the way, Mr. Cohen, during a break, said, are you required to have that many musicians? Which I think is interesting. The producer's eye is always... I don't want to offend the band, but I was wondering, that's interesting. Maybe you could trim our budget from... No, I don't mean beginning there. I mean...
Oh, I'm going to win a popularity contest
Really-
in this place
really-
tonight. I asked the question simply out of curiosity.
Well, actually, I believe you said how
Because
many
I
you're
was
required to
impressed
have.
with the number and with the good music.
That's right. It began with a
Yes.
compliment. You're right.
I was impressed with the way he took all the commercials. That was terrific, wasn't it? I
Yeah,
wish
it just
I'd
fit right
thought
into
of
the
that.
medium.
Fantastic.
You know, people must wonder, though, like you said a minute ago, I was terrified when you did that play, and they must wonder, now, here's a woman who's been in all those films and all those plays. What is there to be terrified about after all that time? I mean, you know what I mean? Even if you were lousy, you're still Deborah Kerr, you know? I mean, it's, how are they going to...
Well,
Is that what it is? That maybe I've done so many things that this has to be better than all of them, or something? or-
I think so. I think it gets worse. Do you find it gets worse?
If you're lousy and you're unknown, that's one thing. But if you're Deborah Kerr, Henry Fonda, or Sandy Duncan, you're lousy, the finger is on you.
Yeah. Or Cavett, or Cavett.
Okay.
I didn't want to leave out anyone.
I can sit around here and be lousy.
You can feel free to be.
By the way, congratulations on your nomination, by the way.
Oh, that's all right.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
And
Say-
funnily enough, do you realize you were never nominated, were you? Just out of interest, we're talking about nominations and
I
shows
was
and
once,
everything.
yes.
Were you?
Grapes of Wrath.
Grapes of Wrath, that's right, yes.
Do you know that the people who've never won or never been nominated for all of the awards read like a who's who of the theater? It's amazing. So does the winners, but so do the...
That's extraordinary.
Yeah,
And
that's
what
right,
can
you
we-
never
the
won
theater-
it.
what can
That's
we
right,
say
you never
about
won
that?
them.
Well, I don't know what to say about it. I remember several years ago at the Tony Awards, the nominees were in the musical category, West Side Story and Bye Bye Birdie and two other musicals, and Bye Bye Birdie won it over West Side Story. Now, I remember Bye Bye Birdie, and I liked it. It was a charming, lovely, rather small evening in the theater. But it did win the Tony Award over West Side Story, and historically, West Side Story has never won a Tony Award. Sounds ridiculous, but it happened, and it happens each year. And it's extraordinary. This year, there are so many good performances on Broadway that I can name 3 or 4 of the most important actresses in this country who have not been nominated for Best Performance in a Play.
It's amazing.
It is
I don't know
absolutely
what
amazing.
It may have to do with that orange drink. I don't know what it is.
Maybe it's got to do with that. But, you know, you get some great seasons and a lot of people, and if there are 10 great performances and you can only nominate 4 of them,
Yeah.
6 artists are going to be disappointed.
Well, of course, it's a little arbitrary to have it to be the same number nominated every year. Since the quality fluctuates, why not say there are 6 nominations this year because there's so much good stuff, and 3 this year
Well, it's a
'cause
good
there's-
idea.
That's
Maybe,
rather a good idea,
maybe
isn't
it
it?
should be done that way.
I think that's a very good idea. It seems hard to tie it down to just 5.
If it's arbitrary,
Who's on
sure.
the board of the Tonys?
Well, the Tony Awards.
I don't mean who votes, but is there a...
There's an
or a board of
administration
governors? Yeah,
committee. It's
yeah.
very tight. It's the most highly regulated, I think, of all the awards, because it's done first by the League of New York Theaters. They are overseen by a committee from the American Theater Wing. Then there is a Tony Awards Administration Committee, which sets up the rules. And then there is a separate nominating committee, and still another series of people who do the actual voting. There are 447 voters. And none of these groups are ever interconnected. And it's all done in secret on, ballots that are sent to the accountants.
Do you use Price Waterhouse?
No.
Oh.
Peter was wrong.
He was
He told me that Peter Ustinov said that he told you that we use Price Waterhouse. No,
Yeah.
we use Lutz and Carr. Not as famous as Price Waterhouse, but two very honest fellas.
You let an actress? Oh, a different car.
A different Carr, C-A-R-R, as opposed to K-E-R-R.
Have you noticed anything?
Nothing. Lead in 1415. Our local stations have a message, and we will return.
Right.